My wife says you sound like Pastor, right?
Okay, welcome once again to another edition of Missions Monday. I'm here with Pastor Shibley. I'm Pastor Renaldo, and today we're doing an origin story of one of our favorite missionaries, and they're all our favorites actually, Pastor Kim Shibley and Casey. So we'll start with Pastor Kim, and just how did it all start for you? How did you find Christ?
So it was in May of 1979 when a junior high school football friend invited me to his wedding in Lenox, Massachusetts. He had gotten saved, and he was trying to explain that all to me, and I wasn't really listening very much, but I couldn't pass up, not just being invited to the wedding, but being an usher in the wedding.
Oh, positions.
So, yeah, position. So I didn't necessarily want to go, but I felt like that was the right thing to do. And so I went to the wedding, and that's where I really, the night before the wedding, he took me to the Stevens School of the Bible graduation. It was in 1979.
Wow. Okay.
And got to hear a lot of speakers, a lot of things I had never heard before about the end times. Very impressive. Stan Ashby was one of the speakers.
Yeah, so he could talk about
Pastor
eschatology.
Stevens was one of the speakers, and I don't remember the other gentleman's name, but it was a guy that used to work for NASA.
Okay.
And it was very interesting.
Okay, I know you're talking about. Keep going.
Yeah. Anyway, so I think that's what really prepped me for the following day at the wedding, when the pastor who was doing the wedding was Steve Stratus.
Okay.
And he preached a introductory message on unconditional love, a phrase at that time not a lot of people had heard about. And so I listened to that, and I was very deeply touched about, salvation.
Okay.
Because I did fear death, and I had some touches with the gospel during my early years. I was 19 years old at the time. When I was about 14, I think I was invited to a movie, and I think it was called, it was about the rapture.
Left Behind?
No, it was way before Left Behind.
Okay, that's later on.
It was the Left Behind before the Left Behind.
Oh, it didn't get left behind.
It was amazing. And I forget the name of it right now. I think it was at a Assemblies of God church. And then I was brought to the Church of God at Winchester Square in Springfield, Massachusetts.
I know where that actually is.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. And then I got turned off by a group called the Forever Family. And then I was done for the next 4 years.
Yeah. Wow.
And so, but then when I did become a believer, I was on my way to study business at the University of Massachusetts. And it was in May. And so my orientation was in June of that year. And I went and I did the orientation, stayed over in the dorms, and really realized that it wasn't going to be for me.
Really?
All my buddies were going to meet me there. We're all going to get a house together and do the kind of things that we were doing, which was not good necessarily. Definitely not good. And so I talked to Tommy Stewart. Remember Pastor Tom Stewart?
Yes, I do.
Our old friend who had a big influence on my life. Grew up with him. And he said, why don't you go to Bible school? I'm thinking, Bible school?
Wow.
It's the end of June.
Yeah.
There's no way that I could go to Bible school. Well, I went to the first convention I had ever been at the end of June. It was at the Great Barrington Fairgrounds.
Yes.
In Great Barrington, Massachusetts. And they had a table set up for the Bible class. I didn't go because I had already made an appointment.
Okay.
So I went, and David Huff was the head of admissions at the time, and went in with my girlfriend at the time. And it was I was very formal,
of course,
because I had no idea. And so I had the interview, and then I got a letter that I was accepted. Little did I know that everybody got accepted later on.
It's a tough get-in policy.
Yeah. And so at that point there, I kind of let it out of the bag to my dad. I was living at home with my parents. I was 19. And I told him I was going to go to Bible college instead of the University of Massachusetts.
Ooh.
And he wasn't really happy with me. We have a very Catholic, Lebanese Catholic family. Cousin's a priest.
Okay.
My mom would have preferred that I had become a priest.
Of course.
In that regard, but actually, you know, I kind of stood up to him. I said, "No, I'm going to Bible school, and that's what I'm going to do."
Wow.
And he gave me a ultimatum, and he said, "Listen, if you're going to go to Bible school, then there's two things are going to happen. Number one, you're going to leave my house
Mm.
now,
Wow.
and I'm not going to help you at all.
Mm.
Whereas if you go to UMass, I'll pay your tuition, you'll have a place to stay, and all that kind of stuff." But I knew what I had to do.
Mm.
And so I left. I packed up my car and I went up to Lenox a little bit early, got a job, and they let me in the dorms for $30 a week, I think it was.
Wow.
And
Where's that at now,
a
please?
little bit early. I know, right? That included food.
Oh,
Room and board was
sign me up.
$35. And so got a job being a busboy.
Okay.
At the Lenox House, if y'all remember that.
Mm-hmm.
And then Bible college started in September.
How hard was it for you to stand up to your dad? I'm getting the idea that didn't happen too often in your household.
Standing up to my dad.
Yeah.
That was not a thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I met a couple of Lebanese dads, and they don't seem like the kind of guys that are not flexible. That's the
you
word
could
I use.
do it, but there were consequences.
Right?
And my consequence was get out of the house.
Wow.
And I'm not, don't come visit me. That
even that one.
Yeah, pretty much. And so so I did it. I just couldn't, honestly. I was a scaredy cat, but I had to.
But at that time, were you saved?
I had gotten saved.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I got saved that weekend at the at that wedding.
At the wedding, you got saved.
The wedding, I got saved. Yeah.
Take me back to that. How did that happen?
So I heard that message on unconditional love, and he asked us to raise our hands, and I thought about it.
Wow.
And I thought, well, this is something's got to happen here. And I believed, and honestly, at that point there, really, it was instantaneous.
Really?
My life changed. Yeah.
So that was the impetus to go confront your father and say, I'm going to go to Bible school.
No, I wasn't thinking about Bible school at that point. I was just, well, I'm glad I'm saved.
So with Tommy Stewart, Pastor Tom, he encouraged you, just slightly nudged you.
Well, yeah, I was saying to him, man, I don't think I can do UMass. Maybe I'll just keep selling cars.
Right.
I sold cars right after I got out of high school.
Oh,
it was hilarious. And for over a year. And because it was a good job.
Okay.
And I made a lot of money.
Okay.
And my name was well known in the town where we were. And my brothers worked with me, and we worked for a big Ford dealership. And so anyway, that's when Tom said, why don't you go to Bible school? And I thought, man, that sounds like fun. I wasn't thinking about even studying the Bible. I just thought, well, Tommy's going.
Okay.
And Greg Gamelli is going.
Well,
and Vince Neffinger is going to be there. And,
so if you're going,
all these different ones that I grew up with.
What's different there is you had guys that you were hanging out with who were going to go to UMass, but you couldn't go to UMass because it wasn't in your heart. But then you had guys you grew up with who went to Stephen School of the Bible, and you went with them.
Absolutely.
And the difference is God.
Yeah. Well, my life changed.
Wow.
I had this kind of interesting conversion where I just gave up everything, right? Oh, well, so I thought. I gave up the obvious things like smoking and
that's bad.
Drinking.
That's bad.
Yeah. The really bad stuff.
Yeah.
And
anything overtly immoral is now done.
Yeah. The other stuff, the other unovertly more immoral things kind of hung on. Actually, as we know now, that the Spirit doesn't reveal everything to us right away. And then we learn conviction over time.
That's right. That's a good word.
When we learn the Bible. Yeah.
And you actually developed a conviction without knowing you were developing a conviction when you stood up to your dad and said, I'm going to mortgage potentially the currency, right? The presidency of this relationship. I don't know where this is going to go, but I'm going to do that because I'm sensing a higher purpose in going to Bible school.
Yeah. And I was the youngest of 6.
Oh, you're the baby.
And I always worked for my dad from the time I was 8 years old.
Oh, so you were actually working for your dad too?
Always.
Wow.
So every summer when school got out, from the time I was 8 years old, we got in the car with him in the morning and we went to work for 8 hours. He had apartments.
Okay.
Picking weeds, sweeping floors, whatever he could find for us to do. And then this went on every summer. And then in the fall, then we would, during the regular weekends when we were in school, we also went on Saturday mornings and cleaned the hallways of the apartments and cleaned up the laundry rooms and that kind
Wow.
of thing. And
Well,
so
you got the child labor laws, which is out the window.
we worked for him forever. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
No
maybe
doubt.
this was God setting you free.
Yeah, well, I did learn a work ethic from
Oh,
him
yeah.
for sure. Yeah, he was awesome in that sense. But yeah, so as far as standing up to him, honestly, there was no other choice for me.
Really?
You know, it wasn't like, oh, okay, Dad, I'm not going to go to Bible school. What are you, crazy?
Yeah, but that's your dad. And at the time, maybe potentially the most important role model male in your life was your dad. I'm guessing.
Sure.
And to look him in the face in his house, in his living room, and say, "I'm going to do it. I'm going to make a decision for God and against you." That's tough. That's a hard thing. I mean, that whole family vibe, especially if you're a close knit family, that's huge.
Yeah, we're close. We're close.
Hmm. Wow.
Yeah.
So then you made a decision. You went to Bible school. You're in Bible school now.
Yeah, for 3 years. I'd study. I took the leadership track
Okay.
at the time, and didn't know why. They just sounded right, you know. So, like, whatever.
So far, like this,
my diploma says leadership right on it right now.
Well, you said like, okay, I'm gonna do Bible school because I kind of sense that'd be fun. I'm gonna do leadership because it sounds right. It's like you're kind of like being led, but not with titles and labels and being put in the box. You just kind of walk in with God through this thing.
Yeah. And I mean, I thoroughly loved Bible school.
Yeah,
it was amazing, and I just enjoyed it. And I ended up getting 2 jobs because my summer job changed because obviously, as you know, the Berkshires is really in the fall it's very busy, but in the winter it's dead.
Yeah.
And so the Lennox house could no longer employ me as much, and so I ended up washing dishes.
Okay.
And then I went and in the mornings I opened up a Shell. I'm sorry, well, it was a gas station, Lee Arco.
Okay.
Right at the turnpike, Route 90 and Route 20, and I opened it up every day for 3 hours. Then from there I went to wash dishes, and then from there I would leave there about 3 o'clock, go back to my dorm, take a shower, go to Bible school class, or go to dinner, go to class at 6 o'clock, and then oftentimes fell asleep during that last class, whatever that was.
Done that, been there, done that. Definitely classic working 2 jobs.
Yeah.
Nighttime Bible school.
Did the video class for Pastor Stevens' classes, and then after that they were live.
You did video. I did cassette. Listening.
Well, video cassette. Oh, you did cassette.
Oh yeah, nothing like listening to ABD with a cassette. It's just, it's just like, okay, I'm listening. I'm focused.
It wasn't called ABD then. There was like Christian psychology
and EBD. That was later one. That was later one.
It was later. Yeah, it was a book of the Bible, and then Wednesdays was homiletics.
Okay.
Every Wednesday was homiletics. It was just hilarious because he would have people get up and speak every Wednesday.
That's always the fun part.
Yeah.
Whenever you teach that, you just don't know what you're going to get for sample sermons. And good Lord.
I do remember being there and thinking that I was going to just kill it. You know? And they surprised me by calling me up one day. It was Lewis Hall.
Oh,
who was doing the class for Pastor Stevens.
The classic substitute, Lewis Hall.
Yeah, and he brought me up, and I just fumbled all over the place.
What?
It was hilarious.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I humbled you early.
I did take a real, not a real humble. I took an actual classic homiletics class later on with Mac Cassidy.
Oh,
remember Mac?
Pastor Cassidy? Yes, I do.
Yeah, from Air, Massachusetts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. So you're just dropping all these names.
He was very good. He was a good teacher. Yeah. So,
wow. So you had, let's see, so now you're in Bible school.
And now I teach homiletics.
Which is full circle.
Yeah.
So imagine for a second, you're in Bible school. I'm guessing maybe your mom more than your dad is reaching out to you. You're connecting somehow while you're still in Bible school. And you're making decisions. What's your greatest memory from Bible school?
My greatest memory from Bible school. Well, there are quite a few. My greatest memory was discovering Casey Bright, actually.
Okay.
My wife.
You are reading your lines perfectly. Yes, obviously.
That was my greatest discovery.
So how did that happen?
Oh, well, we were doing outreach together in Great Barrington with Bill Fortin.
Oh, my goodness.
And
his names.
Yeah, and some other guys. And so and Denise Bureau. Remember
Okay.
Denise? And so that's, I kind of, was expecting her to fall in love with me, but it never happened.
Once again.
Yeah, yeah. And so that's how that happened. We just started, being friends,
Of
really.
course.
And then later on in France, we got engaged and then got married a year later.
So you're in Bible school. You're learning the Bible.
Yep.
Got a girlfriend in Bible school.
Didn't have a girlfriend. She was never my girlfriend in Bible school. Yeah.
Okay. So
I wished she was.
I see.
But what a stubborn girl. She didn't know it was good for her.
That's always how it is. It was a long yes.
She found out later, but I was persistent.
But a long yes beats a quick no.
Yep.
I'll take it. I'll take a long yes, a long, arduous, painful yes.
I was in it for the long haul more than she realized.
Wow.
Yeah.
You just signed up for it.
And we did go to France together on the original team.
Okay. So you're in Bible school now. In Bible school, did you have any idea or thoughts about missions at all?
So that's a good question. So I did. My first semester, I believe I had a class or second semester, I forget, but I had a class with Ed Cadino.
Okay.
And it was on missions.
Okay.
And one of our assignments was to write a missionary. And of course, there weren't that many.
That's right.
Right?
Less than 20
there
or
was
30.
David McAdam. There was Germany. Who was in Germany was, forget his name. And then there was Pastor Schaller. And maybe somebody else. I'm not sure. But either way, I wrote Pastor Schaller. And so he ended up writing me back, which was amazing. Weeks later, I was surprised. And then he remembered me. And so I just didn't really develop a relationship with him at that time. But I was very impressed by that, that he would take the time to write me back. He was actually leaving Finland, going to Sweden at the time. And so I think it was 1979 or 1980. And so either way, I started thinking about missions. But then I was getting close to graduation. And you know how Pastor Stevens, I don't know if you knew, he used to do, I forget what night it was, maybe Thursday night, but he used to do a bowling night in Pittsfield.
I had heard about it. I never went.
Yeah, I only went once or twice. And so I went. And I went with a purpose. And
that was the candlestick bowling, right?
I don't think this was candlestick.
Okay.
Yeah, although you could do candlestick there. I think this was 10 pin. But I did it on purpose so that I could kind of get with him and ask him, what he thought I should do. And so I asked him, I said, hey, I'm graduating in, the spring. And I don't know what to do. What do you think? And he didn't answer. He asked me a question. He said, do you think you would like to be, a leader of a team? Or do you think you'd like to be a team member or an assistant? And I thought about it. I said, I think probably an assistant. And that was it. And he never answered it but that alone was very good, just hearing that from him, and then being in his prayers. And then I think we talked one other time about it. And so it was later on. So I believe that was the fall of 1981. And then later on, I had the previous year I had driven up to Montreal, and I had spent a couple of weeks with Louis DeMeo.
Okay.
And the team that was up there, there were some Finns on the team. There were some Americans. Wayne Hogarth was on the team. And, they put me up in some guy's garage for a couple of weeks. And I was very excited about that. And that's what really gave me the vision for being in a foreign country. And it was later on, I believe that fall, he came to Baltimore and began to teach.
Okay.
And that's when I got interested in going to France. And so that's what I did. I decided that's what I'm going to do. And he questioned me a lot, and he tested me a lot. And I didn't, this is my own personal arrogance, but he says, why should you go to France and blah, blah, blah. And he was testing me. And I was just like, dude, if you go to France or if you don't go to France, I don't care. I'm going to France. That was my way of being the big guy, So I don't know. You know, I don't
Wow.
know what I was really thinking. I had no idea how to do something like that.
But watch how it happened. I like the fact that when Dr. Stephen gave you options, they're both missions oriented.
They were both missions oriented, not necessarily overseas,
Right.
but but the idea that I had in going to Bible school was, yeah, when I'm done, I'm not going to be done. I'm not going to go back to
right.
selling cars. I'm not going to go back to just getting a regular job or something like that. I'm going to Bible college for a purpose.
Mm.
And funny, I don't know why me, but that's what I knew from day one
Wow.
of Bible college. I was here for a reason.
I think when you can keep purpose in front of you, your focus is easy. When you keep purpose in front, it's when you lose that purpose, anything replaces it, and then you focus on that, and it not necessarily be bad, but it might not be God's will.
Right. Yeah. And it's not about motivation, it's about commitment.
Exactly.
Right. It's about commitment. And I never had the idea of quitting. I know people did.
Yeah.
Probably we lost half of our class during that season. We graduated in a relatively large class. I mean, probably 50 or so. But I think we started, I believe at the time when I started, we were announced to be the largest freshman class ever. But then when I graduated, it was probably just more or less average.
Wow.
You know, because so many people had quit and done something else.
Wow.
Or just didn't maybe graduate I wanted to not only graduate, but I wanted to do it in the prescribed time.
In one time.
Yeah. And so I did.
I wonder why so many people just quit and you didn't.
Commitment.
Say more about that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have a feeling about commitment that when we talk about, a lot of people like to talk about motivation.
Yes.
Motivation is legit. You want to be motivated, but you're motivated for a reason, you know, because you want something generally at the end.
Right.
Right. But commitment is something where you know what you want to happen, and whatever comes in the way is not going to matter so much, that you're still looking beyond that to the end. Because motivation can get snubbed out when the thing that you were hoping to get disappears.
Okay.
Right. But commitment, it's like, doesn't matter. I'm going to the end. Right. And so I feel like being committed is the more important of the two things. Motivation, of course, we have to be motivated for a reason. But the commitment part is the part that really, that's got to stick with people. Got to be committed.
Because we live in a world, and even in the spiritual world, Christianity, motivation's huge.
Yeah.
It's an entire genre of speaking. But there's no commitment speakers, they're motivational speakers.
Yeah.
I mean,
commitment is boring, man.
And by the way, this is a non-committal society right now. So
commitment's boring. Commitment is boring.
The decision you made in a sea of non-committals, uncommittals, and broken commitments, you made a gigantic decision that didn't seem so big at the moment. But looking backward now, but just wondering why, why stay? How did you not go? Everybody around you's going, maybe some of your friends were going.
There were trials, there were reasons people, I mean, couldn't afford the $35 a week, you know, or whatever, plus the tuition. You know, I mean, I think it might have gone up to 50 at one point. I forget now. But, and you know, Western Massachusetts, especially in the winter,
it's hard.
Far Western Massachusetts. We're not talking Springfield. We're talking the Berkshires, right? There's no work.
There's
no work. I mean, you're working for minimum wage at the gas station, pumping gas. Talking about freezing, getting there at 6 in the morning and having to clean those wonderful outdoor bathrooms of those old gas stations. Talk about the most nasty thing.
Well, that's nothing worse than cold and nasty.
Cold and nasty.
That's a bad combination.
Trying to clean toilets and you know 0-degree weather.
We are laying in TMI right now.
Unbelievable. But that's what we did for you know, $2.90 an hour.
Wow.
You know, and then I remember that first year that the guy at the Lennox house, Bob George, also Lebanese guy, he let me know in January and December that he was giving me a raise up to $3.25 an hour. Yes, except then I went back to my boss at the gas station. I said, "Hey, Jerry," I said, Bob George is going to give me a raise at the beginning of the year, up from 290 to 325. He said, oh yeah, me too. He said, the minimum wage went up. It's the law. So
oh God, he pulled it back on you.
typical Leb, right?
Oh my God.
Typical
It
Leb.
just, well, you know what though? To keep good workers, he framed it. Let's just say he framed the truth
Unbelievable.
a certain way.
Yeah, extra 35 cents an hour. Come
So
on.
you're in the bathroom, it's cold, and you're cleaning it, and you're asking yourself, why am I doing this? What am I doing?
I don't know. No, I never had that. I think I was so happy just to stop at the coffee place and get like one of those really, really big donuts and a cup of hot coffee and go there and drink it first. And because I had to count the drawer before I did anything.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
And it's the longest drawer counting in the history of
oh
drawer
my
counting.
gosh.
1, 2.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're now it's 3 years in. You're heading to go to France. What were
Yeah.
your thoughts about going to a foreign country and serving God?
I was excited. I was automatically somehow number 2 because I was the only other guy that was committed to stay. Like I wasn't going to just go there for summer harvest. We had a huge summer harvest team.
Okay.
And it was amazing. And so we raised the money. Well, first of all, it paid off Bible school. That was huge.
Okay.
Like literally the night before graduation, I was able to pay it off and get my actual diploma.
Wow.
I didn't want to get a blank piece of paper in a folder.
There you go.
And so I did that. So then I left Lenox to save money, lived at my folks' house. And
okay, so Dad let you back in.
So yeah, I had been back in for quite a while. Yeah, they just weren't happy. They were really angry I was going to France too.
Oh, well, you just elevated the anger.
Oh, it was one thing after another. Yeah.
And Dad you wore Dad down.
He was hoping that I was going to change my mind. But what I did do though was I worked and I put money aside. I bought my tickets. I think I was able to squirrel away $1,000.
It's a lot of money back then.
Somehow thinking that was going to keep me for the whole year.
Even that.
No, I think I had $150 of commitment on a monthly basis.
Okay.
At the time, and it wasn't enough. Casey had all of 50.
Oh.
And so,
wow.
But we did save a little money. But yeah, so we ended up getting our tickets and going to France. I led the second wave. So DeMeo went with his wife and with Monique White at the time, ahead of us, and basically did the same route. Went to England, then went to Holland, got a car, and then drove to the south of France. We, on the other hand, went to England, hung out with the church in Colchester at the time for about 5 days, did outreach every night, had an awesome time. Then we went over to Holland, spent about 3 or 4 days there, and same thing, evangelism. They had bought for us we had bought as a team a Volkswagen minivan, 1972, I think it was, blue and white Volkswagen bus that we piled people in, drove through Germany into France, and then drove all the way to the south of France.
Like Christian backpackers.
Yeah. And I was the head of the team.
There you go.
Phil Zeitler was with us. Jenny Perry was with us. Karen Capuano. Was Karen Maxwell at the time. And then quite a few other people as well, including a girl from Chicory, Massachusetts that knew my sister, which was good and bad. She was in the Springfield church. So
you lead the team.
Yeah.
You were in south of France.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we got there.
Okay.
So the news was this. We were offered a house in Auxerre, France, which is about an hour south of Paris. Not a small city, but not Paris, of course. But still, Louis, of course, has got a lot of contacts, and he knew a guy that had a house
in
Auxerre, and he said, you can use the house, you and your team, for a year. And so we're like, that's a no-brainer.
Wow.
God wants us in Auxerre. And so we get to the south of France now. Monique and Janie and Louis are already there. And so right off the bat, he gives us a story. He says, hey, we went to Auxerre and we checked out the house on our way down. And it turns out it's a 2-room house.
Yes, the whole team in 2 rooms.
That's number one. Number two, the guy's mother was still living there. And So Auxerre was quickly that dissipated. So
Oh.
we know where the heck we're going. We're in this place in Codognan,
Yeah.
France,
Mm-hmm.
for 2 weeks to work with a team, with a church that had led Jeff Loren in Montreal
Oh,
to Christ.
okay.
And Jeff had the contact with these people.
Mm-hmm.
And so we went there to evangelize with them, to help them. But then in the end, and what we told them, we have no idea where we're going.
Sure.
So we spent every day after, after the evangelism, whatever, looking for places to live, and we ended up in the same village as that church, which was not a good situation.
Oh, wow.
Because we were absolutely, and I don't say this by any, saying that we were better than anybody. It's just that we're more visible.
Okay.
We're these Americans, that everybody wants to hang out with these American young people.
Yeah.
And
you were a hot ticket,
which did not make the pastor of that church happy.
Yeah, insecure,
and
probably.
So we ended up becoming his enemy, unfortunately.
Oh, wow.
And we were there though for 2 years in that town until we found something else in Nîmes, and which was a big chateau, and it was pretty amazing. We had become friends with the pastor of the Reformed Church, which, if anybody understands the Reformed Church in France, that is the Protestant church. The Protestant church is l'Église réformée. And the guy who liked us was the leader, and he controlled all their property. And they had so there was an American group using this place, but then he let us use it after they left. It was called the Chateau Sieur. And it was this enormous mansion up on the highest, I don't know if it's the highest, but pretty much maybe the highest peak in Nîmes. And we got to use that whole place, and we all fit.
Oh.
And we had a place to have meetings.
Praise God.
And it was a private thing, like had a gate, it was a gated thing and all that. So it was pretty amazing. And we were there for 2 years. And so that's really where, if you will, that's where we were able to really start our Sunday morning services on a regular basis, more than just doing evening thing or whatever.
Sure.
We weren't real comfortable doing morning services in Codognan. I don't remember if we did or not. I think we did mostly evenings on Sundays. Yeah.
And then you were there for 2 years, and somewhere in those 2 years, you and Casey got married.
Oh, so yeah. So we had been in France for August, September, sometime in the beginning of October. We took a ride as a team. Now our team had shrunk from probably 20 people down to 5 or 6.
That's some massive attrition.
Whole different thing.
75% loss.
That's when you. Well, they were all summer harvest, right?
Okay.
But this is when you realize that why people leave when they don't have a team, because they don't have the fellowship around them. And so I was processing, learning French. I was doing a really good job at that. I unfortunately for Phil Zeitler and my wife, I was their teacher.
Oh no. Nothing like asking someone else to teach you with your second language.
And of course, when I got to France, I knew all of John 3:16 and how to count to 10.
Okay.
That was it.
That would be the extent of my personal French library. So we're the same.
Yes. But 3 months later, I was witnessing in
French.
Streets.
Wow.
That was pretty awesome.
That's miraculous, actually.
It was pretty cool, yeah. And so we drove up to Holland to kind of take a break. And Pastor Robinson was there with Diane leading the team in Dieren, near to, I'm trying to think of the big city, Arnhem, in the Hague. I'm sorry, in the Netherlands. And so that was pretty cool. And we were there for maybe a week and a half. And it was kind of culture shock because France was so dirty compared to Holland, which is ultra clean.
Okay.
Amazing.
The way Canada used to be.
Yeah, the way U.S. was never. And so, but still the U.S. was cleaner than France at the time.
Wow.
I mean, I love France. I mean, I wouldn't mock anything about it anymore, but probably did back then.
Okay.
And so we ended up getting engaged there.
Oh, wow.
On a bike ride in Holland.
Okay, this is being framed. Holland, Bike ride.
bike ride.
Was a picnic involved? Was there music and there were the people? Was the guy following you with the violins? Kind of
No.
play?
No, she actually surprised me. I had made a habit of pretty much asking her to marry me every month in a different location. You know?
Well done. That's
Yes.
it right there.
And it came through.
That's it. And she's like, okay, it's time for the regular question. Are you ready? Yes. Will you marry me? No. Yeah, nope. Okay, I'll be back.
I'll be back.
Close the deal.
Yeah,
Wow.
it was a rough 9 months until it actually happened. But
So 9 months of no,
happened.
and then in Holland,
Yes,
Casey
and
yielded.
married the following June 12th.
Oh wow!
2 weeks from today. Yeah.
Oh. So you guys were together in the mission before you were married.
Mhm.
So that made it a lot easier for you to be together on the other side in the mission.
Yeah, we actually prepared our room before we came back to the States.
Oh wow!
We were all in a team house,
Mm-hmm.
and so we came back, and we were the only ones there.
Mm.
And Chantal Palm,
Yes.
Chantal Zeitler,
Yep.
was our only French team member.
Mm.
You know, she had really, taken a shine to us and loved us, and we loved her.
Mm.
And so she was kind of waiting for us to come back. And we spent a couple of weeks by ourselves, which was kind of cool.
Honeymoon.
Yeah, sort of.
Well, you organized it. It's France.
It was France.
So France
Pretty
honeymoon.
awesome. Not a lot of responsibility.
Oh wow!
Right, our year back, and I was only going back because I left early, and coming back to kind of reconnect with everybody until the team got back. Because we did come home every year for convention.
Okay.
And so that was our first come home year.
Mm.
And
come home married.
Came home,
got
married, went back married. Yeah.
Did dad, mom involved wedding, the whole thing?
Yep, they did come to the wedding.
They turned around and everything was, and now everything was great.
Yeah, everything was not great. but hey, somehow you got this girl to marry you, and so I guess you're not that big of a failure. I mean, somehow you succeeded once.
You connected.
They were pretty impressed with Casey.
There you go. Oh, okay. He's like, Dad, see, I told you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Somehow.
So now you're back in America, and you're back in America for a good season.
For a month, yeah. We were back for a month. Then we were back in France.
And then after France?
So France, we grew the church.
Okay.
The church actually then, we started meetings, and we had already started Bible school, but it was a lot with that other church. And then we definitely fell out of favor with them. I think the pastor of the other church even had a nervous breakdown.
Oh wow!
That we probably caused, because he lost his confidence.
I get you.
And because Louis was very dynamic, also, and he kind of spoke French, spoke Canadian French.
Okay.
I'm glad I didn't learn I love the Canadians. I love the Quebecois, but I'm glad I didn't learn my French in Quebec.
Oh, wow.
That's all I can say.
It's a different French.
Well, it's hard to overcome when you learn something the wrong way.
Sure.
Right. Or not the French way, right? Because I would speak like a big book compared to,
oh wow,
I would be, maybe somebody would laugh at me from, oh, you talk like a big book, from Montreal. That's what they said to Monique when she went back, because she was speaking such good French. But anyway, so I forget what the question was.
We were talking about just you went back to France. You were at France now. You grew the church.
So the church, we began to grow. Oh, we had started outreaches, and that was amazing. So we were doing door knocking, even the first year, and we had people that we were following up regularly. And one of the great highlights, I think, of the second year, I think it was the second year, sometime, I think it was the second year, was this family that we were visiting. Sometime in the winter, kind of disappeared. Like they weren't living there, like they moved.
Okay.
This village called Sommières, which was a walled village or walled city, maybe 25, 30 miles from where we were. We went there every Saturday. We set up a book table in the market.
Okay.
Paid whatever we had to pay to put up the table, and we gave out Bibles and tracts, which is what you had to do if you wanted to do evangelism there. And I met these people. Then we started knocking on doors and handing out Gospels of John door to door in Sommières. And I met this guy. He talked to me for a while. I hadn't met his wife. And then, we hadn't gone back. And he finds me in the market. Says, hey, He never came back to see me.
Wow.
His name was Patrick. And so I started visiting him. And we visited them for about a year and a half. And then my French would get better. And Casey was laughing all the time. And we really fell in love with his wife and their little daughter. And we became very close. But then they disappeared.
Mm.
And then we're like very frustrated. And so then now we're in our new place. 2 years now have passed. We're in our new place in Nîmes, in the chateau.
Okay.
Chateau Sieur. And I get a phone call. And it's from this guy, Patrick. He's like, hey, we moved to Lunel.
Okay.
And they actually got a phone. People didn't have phones. That was part of the problem.
Okay.
Contacting people. You go to their house, they literally had no phones.
Yep.
And so obviously there were no cell phones. And so we ended up reconnecting with them. And so, and boy, we had shared the gospel with them. And so we had been doing a Bible study in Montpellier. So you had Nîmes, and then on the way to Nîmes was, so you're on the Route 113, Route Nationale 113. And then halfway to Nîmes is this city called Lunel, and then Montpellier. So we would go to school for French in Montpellier at University Paul Valéry. And then, so on Tuesday nights, I think it was, we did a Bible study. So obviously we did evangelism everywhere. We took advantage of our whole situation there. That Bible study, by the way, went on for, I think, 4 decades.
Wow.
They might still be doing it. I'm not sure. Anyway, so on our way back one night, I had gotten the call from them. So on my way back, we stopped at we hadn't seen them in at least 6 months. And we stopped at their apartment. I forgot that he got up at like at 4:30 in the morning because he worked on the public utility pipes below the ground.
Right.
And so we're like, they're like way up on the 8th floor of this thing. They're like, they literally open up the window. What do you want? And it's like, oh, Patrick and Kim. And so they brought the whole team up to their apartment, and we sat there with him and his wife. His wife had been Sylvie. She had been the resistance one, right, the whole time. She was sweet, but very resistant to the gospel. Patrick was much more open. They were both former Catholics. They're very bruised, if you will, by the Catholic Church because the church would not marry them. He had been divorced. Yeah. And then they could not get remarried in the church. Yep. Couldn't do it, which is fine. I mean, at least the priest was honest, I said, nope, this is our rules. You can't do it. And so, but that ticked him off. Anyway, so that kind of opened up his heart a little bit to hear like something else about God because he believed in God. And so that night we sat there for hours and I shared the gospel. We had the whole team sharing the gospel. And then I finally asked him, are you ready to receive Christ as your savior? And he's like, and then Sylvie's like, yes, I am.
Wow.
And that was it. They both prayed that night to receive Christ. It was like amazing. And then he was a bike rider, like a racer, French, real French. So the weekends were he lived for the bike. He was in races constantly. That Sunday, he showed up to church.
Wow.
He said, I put my bike away because now I've given my life to Christ.
That's beautiful.
It was amazing.
Put my bike away. I've given my life to Christ.
Yeah, he came to our Bible school. He became a pastor.
Really?
She became a worker. I'm still good friends with them.
Wow.
Yeah. Their kids were in the church and everything. So beautiful. Patrick and Sylvie Fondrich. When we were in in Lennox, and we were praying for friends, I always pray to God for the people that I would one day meet and lead to Christ. And I always said those are the ones I was praying for.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful story.
Yeah. Yeah. Very, very cool.
So you were in France serving God with your wife?
Until 1986.
So 1986, and then what happened?
There were some things that probably happened not only to me but to other people where maybe things aren't necessarily going well with the team.
Sure.
Maybe you feel overlooked or whatever.
I get you.
You know how it goes. Anyway, things. I can tell this if Louis ever watches. Things weren't going that good with us, between me and Louis and Jamie and Casey. Okay. Casey was the church secretary. And it just didn't go well. And so we definitely thought, he thought maybe I should go. And I said, I definitely want to go. And actually, when I was going to leave, I actually called Pastor Stevens, and he had said, yeah, you should probably come home. And so I had been ordained already now for 1 year. And so I said, well, it's time to take a break. So I thought we'd come home for a year.
Okay.
And so that's what I told everybody. I'm going home for a year. And so after I was having a really hard time. It was kind of in the early spring of 1986. And then after that, I felt so free. You know, then I started becoming very effective again. And then I was asked to stay on the team at that point. And I said, no, that's not going to happen. And so then we left. And
How would
thinking
you?
we're going to come back, but
Yeah.
I actually went back to France about 15 months after that to let everybody know I wasn't returning.
What do you think God did in your heart in France that put missions in your purpose?
Well, I really felt at that point that I would always be an overseas missionary, and that being in the States was just going to be temporary. And I mean, I thought that was it. I thought at that point I should be a team leader. I felt I didn't feel like I had to be, but I thought, well, nobody else is doing it. So I was going to go to Guatemala.
Oh.
And I remember Larry Freeman from Springfield, Mass.
Yes.
Larry and Donna, they had adopted some kids, and me and Larry Larry and I, Casey might be listening, went to Guatemala in January of 1988. And Kimmy, my son, had just been born the previous December 12th. And so I had also just met Pastor Steve DeVries maybe 4 or 5 months before that. And he was in I was in Springfield for that first couple of years. I had been doing the young adult ministry. And I was the head of the young adults. I was young adult pastor. And Steve was in my ministry, which is pretty awesome.
Wow.
And so I went there. We actually ended up staying for more than 2 weeks for some reason. I think our plane was canceled and we were happy. And we spent some time in Guatemala. And I came back all fired up. I'm like, honey, we're going to Guatemala.
Now, you don't speak any Portuguese or Spanish, right?
No Spanish.
Okay.
But that's where you learn, right? But I mean,
you speak French, you can
I'm
pick
a
it
fast
up.
learner.
Okay.
And I was already speaking it a little bit then. I don't know if I speak any better now than I spoke then.
Well, I'm a confident learner. You're a fast learner.
Yeah.
I got a gift with you.
Yeah. Well, I'm a fake it till you make it, you know? And so I ended up, but she shut it right down.
Oh, wow.
Just something had changed in that regard. Like she wasn't willing. She had 2 kids now. We had debts now because we're in America.
Sure.
And, we're thinking about that. Then I had no idea we would have 3 more kids after that. So at that point there, we did some trips. But even then, financially, that wasn't so easy to do, especially raising kids. And then so I was in Springfield, Massachusetts until 1993 working.
What would you say was your greatest challenge to go to the mission field and your greatest challenge to come off the mission field, farm field?
So the greatest challenge was probably family when I went. I just felt we're going to do it. And I just thought everything's going to work out.
Wow.
Visa wise and all that. We did get our residency and everything. It took a little while, but we got it while we were there, which wasn't supposed to happen.
It never happens like that.
You
have to leave. Yeah. Either you get it before you have to leave. One or the other.
Yeah, we worked it out. We actually got pulled over by immigration police.
Oh, wow.
And that's how it all got advanced, believe it or not.
Okay.
Yeah, because we convinced them that we were doing a good work. It was pretty amazing. And so we ended up, so getting there it was all about, it was really hard to raise support. Like I wrote so many letters to so many churches. And of course, who knows me?
Yeah.
Right? Nobody knows me.
But you're writing letters.
Bible speaks. And, and we're writing letters. Yeah. And we got some support from the church and some people in the church. Some were truly committed. Some were just saying they were, but never really followed through. And so I ended up, with some support. And then, right after we got married, we were going to wait to have kids, which we did. We waited 9 months and 12 days till Hannah was born from the day we got married. And so
that's called commitment.
Yeah. And so, funny thing about that is because France is such a socialist country, that helped us out financially.
Oh yeah, healthcare.
Yeah, it helped us out with healthcare for her. Also helped us out with money for food,
Oh wow.
and also helped out for money for her, um,
Prenatal?
for her room.
Oh, the whole thing.
Part of our rent
Oh
was
wow.
covered by them as well. So it was
That's
pretty
very nice.
amazing. Yeah.
Hmm.
And so we were very happy there, and we saw God changing lives.
Mm.
We saw the growth of the church. We learned a lot about evangelism. I ended up doing university in French, for French.
Wow.
And that was phenomenal. I credit that to me being able to keep it, and to still even be able to preach in French.
Wow.
And so that's an interesting thing. So it was very hard to leave. And I mean, it was heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of tears, especially the people that now had become our very close friends.
Sure.
Especially Patrick and Sylvie. It was like, what do you mean you're leaving? It was like, oh, I mean, that brought us to tears. It was so hard. And, but we knew we had to at the time. And so we did.
Wow.
And it felt, in some ways we were being chased out. And in some ways I knew it was the Lord, and I knew they didn't need me, I knew the church was on good foundation. Louis was doing a good job at the time, and he did a great job over the years. But but it was time, to leave. And so in my heart, I kind of felt probably not going to come back, but we were saying, we'll be back.
Because you don't. It's very hard when you leave a mission field to say I'm not coming back.
Yeah, it's very hard.
There's nothing good about bye.
Yeah,
that's why goodbye doesn't. It's like an oxymoron.
Yeah.
Goodbye. Really, when goodbye is passionate, it's not good. It's just painful. It's like pain goodbye, not pain bye, not goodbye. Because you're connected. You've built these relationships.
And I did visit. I visited not a lot. I visited 15 or 16 months after the fact, and then it was decades before I went back. And because again, we did travel to Europe, we traveled to some things, but we didn't have the money to kind of
and maybe in some respects that might have made it a bit easier. Had you been going back a lot, perhaps you would have probably thought maybe it's God to go back.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like Genesis chapter 7. Noah opened the door, but God closed it.
Yeah. There was definitely a closed door there.
Yeah.
For us. Wow. And that gave a lot of other people opportunity as well.
But you just think back now, years later, you think about your first work was the Paris work, one of the
Nîmes.
Yeah. What was that? The French work, really. Nîmes. One of the foundational works in the history of our ministry.
It's amazing.
And you were part of building that.
We were part of the team plant. Yeah.
And you can look back and just see, like, okay, from selling cars for Ford in Massachusetts to planning a church in Nîmes, France. It's just it would never cross your mind that young car salesman would end up being, a church planner in France.
No, that was amazing. And then to see the fruit, to see Luigi Palmieri, then go to Togo 35 years ago, to see his kids grow up there, to see Melody marry Pastor Ambroise, and Sebastian, who's here with us now, and Sarah, beautiful family, and Isabel, who is still here, and then to see Nîmes, then plant Montpellier, and then plant Sète, which didn't last, but that's okay, but then plant Paris, and then Marseille, which didn't last, but then Lyon, which is going on now, and then Geneva, and then Romania, and then Albania, and then Togo,
even Morocco,
Ivory Coast,
Romania,
Benin, Niger, Gabon.
Tremendous fruit from that work. Tremendous fruit.
And I had the opportunity this past February to do a conference for 3 countries essentially, but in Ivory Coast with Pastor Emile Conan for a week, and then to have the pastor and his wife from Morocco come and be with me for a week, and then to actually do the whole conference in French. It was amazing. And then it looks like I'm going to go to Togo in July to fill in for Pastor Shibley. And so that'll be my first time there. So again, that's how they announced me. Hey, this is one of the guys,
Yeah, French fruit.
that started the work in
Wow.
Nîmes.
That's
And
beautiful.
so it's been awesome. Yeah. So
Pastor, this is a great beginning. We're going to have to pick it up again. You and I will talk some more.
all right.
I would love to know about your Baltimore years, your American years.
American
there's
years.
a lot there for us to learn from and glean from.
Yeah.
So we'll do that next time on Missions Money with Pastor Shibley. God bless you. We'll see you next time. Thank you, Pastor.
You're welcome, sir. Thanks, sir.
That was
You're a
good.
good interviewer.
You had a good story. You did a good job.
Dude.
That was amazing.